Hang on, what's going on? God, I'm sorry. Now let's see if my microphone is working. No, it's not still. Oh, we're back. Finally working. apologise for those technical difficulties. I thought just before the race I'd fixed everything, but it turned out I hadn't. But now we are all good, and once again it's Chillikill on pole here in what was a very, very wet qualifying session. And now we'll just read through the order here. Yeah, and there we go. We can see we have Chillikill on pole, followed by Addy in second, 1.5 second gap. But Addy ahead of his championship rival here, Ed, up in second, Ed in third. Then we've got Chazza very closely followed in fourth, Hereford in fifth, Murcielago in sixth, Ayrton Spencer in seventh, Bolt all the way down in eighth, Ragnar in ninth, Val in 10th, Maverick in 11th, Kino Skill 12th, Testameister 13th, Skull 14th, Danny Bin Half 15th, and 16th is Schechtefer. Okay, right, now we can... Oh, now after what was a very, very wet session, for qualifying, everything has cooled down and warmed up. Well, that's actually quite the opposite. Everything is heating up. And now we've got bone dry conditions for the race, as the drivers are just now waiting to get back into, or to get onto ready to the formation lap, I should say. But just to make things clear, the championship gap between Addy and Ed is at is very close. And let me see exactly how close it is. It is 5 points between the two. 5 points separate Addy and Ed. So this championship is that close that it really could come down to even faster lap results. But it looks like there will be no repeat of qualifying, where there will be no rain, and once again Chillikill with another impressive performance here on pole, and I think it's the third time in a row. I think he's been on pole the last 3 races, so Chillikill, like Addy to a certain extent, really improving here in the second half of the season, and now with his third pole in 3 races, he'll be looking to finally convert his pole into a race victory, which he has not managed to do so yet. He's come oh so close the last few races, but just hasn't been able to do it. So we'll be looking out for Chillikill to perhaps improve and take that top step of the podium today. But of course our main focus here is on Addy and Ed, the two who are going for the championship. And of course we have Bolt here, who is also, of course, in the championship battle. He's a little bit further behind now. I think he's about 23 or over 25 points behind, I believe. Actually, I don't have the championship standings in front of me, but Bolt is a long way behind in the championship now, and we have his teammate leading the formation lap, even though they're both in 7th and 8th, seemingly trying to get everyone to slow up, as we have, well, everyone here just coming through the last sector, as we have Schechtefer here coming through the very fast left-hander. Of course, not so fast on the formation lap, but here we go, as Chillikill now emerges through the cars, already positioned on the grid to take his pole position spot here at the Circuit of Americas in Austin, Texas, and we should very shortly be getting things underway, as we have Schechtefer now lining up on the grid. And here we go, we're getting ready to see those 5 red lights, and here we go. We have 2, we have 3, we have 4, and we have 5 red lights. And lights out, and away we go, and it looks like it was a very good start for the Mercedes of Ed. He's already jumped Addy, and he's going to look to go down the inside of Chillikill, but Chillikill covers the move off, and it looks like Addy's actually lost quite a few positions. He's being forced off wide there by the Red Bull. Murcielago through turn 1, but Chilikilla at the moment is in the lead, but he's getting pressured here by Ed as they head through the first sector, but nothing that Ed can do through this part of the track. So we have much action behind as Chaz is still maintained in 4th place. He's gotten past Addy as Murcielago has gained 2 positions as Bolt. He's gone around the outside of Eddie. What a fantastic move that is. And the current championship leader is all the way down in 6th place, but he's still going side by side here with Bolt down into their hairpin. Who's going to come out on top here? Addy's got the inside line, and surely the traction around the outside. Bolt should have the move done. And indeed he does. So Addy here with quite a poor start. He's down in P6. But we have Chazza now up ahead, trying to get past Murcielago. We have an absolute monstrous train behind as Chazza makes the move down the inside of Murcielago. But he outbrakes himself. And he's gone down back into 4th as we've got the cars all over the track. But most importantly, Addy's down in 12th place. What's happened to Addy is we've got 4 cars. Oh, and Ragnar's gone spinning off there. Not entirely sure where the contact was, but now Addy wheel banging with Val. We're really going to keep our focus here on Addy because he really needs to clear these cars here as soon as he possibly can. Is Hereford and Val trying to go side by side, and Addy should be looking to capitalise here. He's going to have to go around the outside the final corner. Can he get that done? Yes, he can. Addy now up into 10th, but look how many cars there are closely followed behind him. He has Danny Binlar, he has Hereford, he has King No Skill, and also Schectifer still really close to his rear end. As Danny Binlar's going to launch one up the inside. Doesn't make any contact, which I thought there was going to be for a slight moment. But Addy still here. Was Maverick. Oh, and Maverick and Testameister touch there, going through the S section. And Addy and the rest have managed to avoid Maverick as he spat off the racing line. But trying to go side by side through this S section is well, suicidal, and suicidal it was for Maverick, who's now down all the way down to 15th. But we've got Shazza now getting up past the inside of Murcielago. Murcielago still fighting it, but now Shazza up into 3rd place, who is on the medium compounder tyres. It's very important to point out here. It looks like Ed and Chilikilla are going side by side. Ed with the inside line here down into turn 1. A very crucial move indeed, and he's got the move done. Ed up into 1st place. And now Ed will be looking to get into a rhythm, try to start to advance that gap over Chilikilla. And Chilikilla launches one down the inside. I'm not too sure if there was contact, but he certainly caught Ed off guard there, and he's back into the lead. As now we'll try and go further back as Chazza and Bolt in 3rd and 4th, as Murcielago has been overtaken by them both just on this lap alone. But now Addy's gotten past Val here. Val, who's completely off the track. But Addy going in the right direction now, up into 8th place, as now DRS has been enabled on this lap. Now things are really about to get spicy up the front between Ed and Chilikilla. I've always seen Ed get up the inside of Chilikilla down the main straight. And with ERS, surely that will only be more... Or surely that will be an easier move for him to make, but... Let's see what happens as we've got Shazza and Bolt here. Through the first sector. Bolt taking a very wide line through this corner, which is a very difficult corner because it's so easy to get caught on the curve and spin. As we've seen Bolt struggling perhaps a little bit with there, as we've got Chilikilla going defensive into the hairpin already. And surely we gonna have... Oh, as we have Bolt actually getting past... Oh, and there's nearly been a crash up ahead between the leaders as Chilikilla's gone right over to the left-hand side to try and defend his position from Ed. Now Ed going to have to go around the outside, which was the opposite the last time around. Chilikilla surely going to force him out wide here. He's putting the good old squeeze on him here, but Ed with the inside line into the right hand. Now Chilikilla looking for a switchback. He's going to get the switchback done. Will he dive up the inside like he did again last time? Yes, he is. Fantastic driving by these two, but Chilikilla is... ahead. He's got back into 1st place. So what an absolutely incredible battle it is between these two already. Chilikilla giving it absolutely everything he's got, sending a very strong message to Ed saying, I'm not going to make it easy for you to get past me. And boy oh boy is he making it difficult for Ed in this race so far, as we now head on to lap 4. Ed has the DRS here, coming down into turn 1. If he can get ahead into turn 1, surely can make it. As Chilikilla pushes him all the way to the inside line, and surely Chilikilla's going to go for a switch back here. No, he can't. Ed into the lead, and through this first sector now, It's going to be difficult for Chili Killer to answer back. He's going to have to stay with him very closely here through this first sector, unless otherwise we're going to say bye-bye to Ed. But Chili Killer has really shown some fantastic pace so far in this race as he nearly goes up the inside there with the differing lines. Just into the corner before, at the end of the first sector. But Bolt, he really is closing up on these lot. He's overtaken Chazza. Of course, Chazza weren't expecting him to be too quick in this stint, but him being on the medium tyres and him being still very close here is very good news, as Bolt is actually now within inside a second of the leaders, and he's got DRS. So Bolt really showing some tremendous pace, which we haven't seen in a little bit from the man who was leading the championship for oh so long in this season. He's up in third after, I believe he started in 8th place, but looks like things have calmed down, at least here at the front, between Chili Killer and Ed, as Ed starting to get into a decent rhythm. As you can see, Chili Killer not exactly challenging Ed as much as Ed was challenging Chili Killer when Chili Killer was in the lead. But Ed going wide there, of course, around this track, the Circuit of Americas, is very easy to pick up warnings and corner cutting penalties, so that is also going to be a key factor in this race, as we have Bolt here setting the fastest lap, a 1:37.8 I believe it was, as Chili Killer very late on the brakes, and even later than Chili Killer was Bolt behind, but he looks like he's got a pretty good run here. Out of turn 1 has Chili Killer, as now they head once again through the final sector. As you can see, Chili Killer not using as much of the track as Ed is, but seemingly still paying off well for him here, as that will certainly be a warning for a corner cutting, as he did cut the inside of that corner there. But as you can see, that curb there on the right hand side, oh so difficult, just spins the car. It gets the car caught in the curb, and it's really difficult to manage. As now the top 3 is separated by a second as we're heading on to lap 5. Ed going defensive already all the way over to the left hand side of the circuit. But we're going to be on board here with Bolt, who's looking really dangerous here towards Chili Killer. He's gaining as we come down in towards the braking zone. He thinks about a launch up the inside, but he's just not quite close enough, is Bolt. And things will remain as they are, as Bolt goes a little bit deep there and makes a mistake, and that's dropped him back a little bit further from these two. But seems as if still these two are making a few little mistakes, but it's just not costing them their position, as Chili Killer struggling to keep the car on circuit there through, well, the replica of Turkey's turn 8. Of course, just a right hand. Oh, it was Bolt there. Nearly losing the, well, certainly losing the rear end, but just about being able to catch it as they head on to lap 6 now. And as we can see, Chaz is starting to close this gap. It was about 2.3 seconds at the start of this lap, and Chaz being on these medium tyres is really, really good news for Chazza. He'll be wanting these 3 to battle even more than what they already have been, and he is in a fantastic position in this race on those medium compound tyres. Certainly one of Chaz's strongest tracks, as I very well know from being his teammate for so many years in this league. Chaz are really in a good position here to challenge these lot for the race victory, as now the leaders are still within inside a second, and Chili Killer's got a fantastic run through the fast little chicane at the end of the first sector here. Will he look to make a move up the inside of the hairpin just before the long straight? No, he won't. He'll choose to try and get a good exit, but here we go. We've got the top 3 separated by half a second here, as now Ed is going to have to defend here from Chili Killer, and most likely Bolt, as Chili Killer in the slipstream in the Mercedes. Can he get a move done here? He launches it up the outside. He fakes it around to the outside. Ed's still going to have the outside line and the inside line for the next corner. He's going to get that move done, but Chili Killer with a superb switch back, and he gets the move done. What a move there by Chili Killer, but Ed still has his car at the inside for the next left-hander. But Chili Killer around the outside gets the move done. What a move that is by the Alfa Romeo to put himself back into the lead. As we have Bolt. Is he going to go up the inside, the left-hander here? He gets past Ed. Yes, he does. What a move that is by Bolt. He gets up past Ed, and that is a crucial move, and it looks like the Mercedes may have touched the Renault there, but now Chazza is within a second of these lot, and Chazza will be absolutely licking his lips as Bolt looking to go up the inside of Chili Killer. Bolt is not messing around here today, that is for sure, as now they're looking to go side by side and around the outside. Surely not. Surely not. Is Bolt going to get this move done? Yes, he is. Bolt is in the lead of the United States Grand Prix. And what a fantastic move he has just put on Chiller Killer and Ed within the space of a couple of corners. But now the top four are separated by about a second as Bolt loses the rear end completely there as he's off the track. As now we've got Chazza also involved in this. It's going absolutely bonkers as Chazza has gone 2 positions. He's gone past Chiller Killer and he's gone past Ed. But no, in fact, Ed and Chazza are still side by side. But just look how much faster Chazza is in a straight line. Chazza is now up into second place. And he couldn't even challenge Bolt here. Down into the hairpin. Could he get a move done? No, not quite. Bolt just about managed to survive for the time being. But Chazza is showing that he is an absolute menace in this race as now. Chazza could look to go up the inside of Bolt. And indeed he is. Chazza now into the lead at the United States Grand Prix. Yes, he's got ahead of Bolt. What on earth has just happened in the last lap and a half? Chazza was in 4th, Bolt was in 3rd, and now they're 1st and 2nd. And this is very good news for Eddie. Oh, and Bolt loses the rear end, and now that's going to allow Ed to go around the outside the final corner. Is he going to get it done? Yes, he is. It's all kicking off here in America. What on earth is happening? As now Chazza is going to look to extend that gap on what will be much less worn tyres as Chiller Killer going up the inside in contact with Ed, and Chiller Killer half spins but manages to contain it. But look at that, Chazza's already got a 1.5 second lead. Chazza is looking super strong in this race. Oh, and Bolt makes a mistake through the first sector. He's got to come back onto the track in a safe manner, but he gets a 3-second corner cutting penalty. Oh, and I needed to take a little bit of a water break there, but now Bolt's tyres are absolutely finished, and what looked like Bolt was going to go all of a sudden running away with this race has really started to struggle just on this lap and a half, and now he has his teammate Ayrton Spencer all over the rear end, and of course our current championship leader Addy behind, who's in 6th place. He had a rough start, but still he could come back, and it's important to see that he is on the medium compounded tyres here. So he very easily could come back at these lot in the latter stages of this race. As he's looking to set up a switch back here on Ayrton Spencer for 5th place. And if he can get past Ayrton Spencer, then he can be right on to attacking Bolt and Chiller Killer for 4th and 3rd. But Chazza already with a 2-second gap, or 2-second lead over Ed, and Bolt and Chiller Killer going side by side through that part of the track is only going to help as Ayrton Spencer and now Chiller Killer decide to come into the pit lane as we've got our first retirement of today with Danny Bin Lahar retiring, and of course now he will finish in 16th place. But Chazza with a brilliant decision to start on those medium compound tyres, just stayed where he was at the start, and then he, with Ed and Chiller Killer and Bolt all squabbling over, he's really benefited here, and he's going to be in such a strong position for the remainder of this race to potentially clinch victory for the first time in a long time for Chazza in this American Grand Prix. But we have Bolt, who of course was in the lead for about half a lap. He's now drifted back away from Ed. He's got a 3-second gap after, of course, he did make a mistake in the first sector where he went off the track, and he has a 3-second time penalty. But Chiller Killer now, and he's come all the way out in 12th, and he's actually come out behind Ayrton Spencer, so he must have had some front wing damage. But Addy here into the hairpin at the end of the main straight. Oh, I thought he was going to go for a move there on Bolt, as Bolt's tyres I think are starting to struggle now. All these guys on the soft compounded tyres are really starting to struggle now. And it will be, of course, a matter of time before Bolt and Ed pit, and Chazza and Addy will be released. Well, of course, Chaz's already in the lead, but Addy will be released into some fresh air, into fresh, clean air, and he can really start to work to building, to closing that gap to Chaz. As we have Bolt coming into the pit lane now, it seems as if he's activated his pit lane limiter a bit early, but never mind, that was just a misjudgment on my behalf. As we also have Testameister, who's had a solid but strong start to this Grand Prix in 5th place at the moment, but would like to point out that Chiller Killer obviously has had to change his front wing as he's all the way down in 12th. Oh, it was Ragnar. I'm not entirely sure what's happened to Ragnar there, but we've also got Ed with a 3-second time penalty, picking up a warning. Oh, a penalty, I should say, through the first sector here. But now Addy, he's going to really be looking to close this gap in on Ed, who, by the looks of things, is going to be on the door. One stop here. I'm not too sure about the others. It looks like Chiller Killer is going to be on a 2-stop strategy. But let's see what tyres Bolt is on. Bolt is on the is on the medium compound tyres. So I don't know. He still might be going to the end. I think that we could be seeing a mix of strategies here between a 1-stop and a 2-stop. But now Chaz has got that gap out to nearly, well, just over 4 seconds. And that's a very strong and healthy lead after 10 laps in this Grand Prix. And Addy is nearly closing in within a second of Ed already, when he was all the way down in 12th position at one stage. And Ed, of course, has either been in the top 3 running positions so far in this Grand Prix. So goes to show you that perhaps these soft compounded tyres aren't fantastic in this race. As now we're going to have Ed come into the pit lane, and we'll just watch him come into the pit lane as he takes it much more aggressively than Bolt and manages to slow down in time as well. So let's see whereabouts they come out. Of course, we've got Chiller Killer and Bolt closely followed now. Chiller Killer's made up positions here quite handedly on this lap, which we've actually missed on screen. But here we go. We've got Ed now coming out the pit lane, as now Val goes past him, and now we're going to be on board with Bolt as Chiller Killer set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. And it looks like Ed is still going to come out ahead of these lot at turn 1, but with Chiller Killer being on the soft compounded tyre, would fancy him to get past Bolt and then be straight on to attacking Ed, as Bolt's taking some very interesting lines through this first sector, it must be said. But hey-ho, each to their own way, I suppose. But we'll stay on board here with Chiller Killer for the time being, or perhaps we won't actually. We'll go on board here with Val and King No Skills to head down in towards the hairpin before the main straight, and Val makes a mistake there. He goes off circuit and now allows King No Skill up in the 3rd place for the time being. Of course, he has not pitted, but still he is up into 3rd place nonetheless. And here we have Chiller Killer now with the DRS gaining in on Bolt, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him make a move here. Is he going to launch it up the inside? No, he thinks better of it at the moment, but Chiller Killer surely on this lap will be looking to get past Bolt here, as he has the significant tyre advantage here in terms of grip, and he really needs to put that to good use. And here we go. He's gonna launch one, but not close enough. He just was a little bit too far away there to get a move done on Bolt, as Bolt will hold on to P6 for another lap by the looks of things, but going really wide through here. As it looks like we've got the Mercedes getting past the Alfa Romeo there at the penultimate corner. And now Ed can go after King No Skill as Val's coming to the pits, which will allow Bolt and Chiller Killer a little bit more clean air in this race. And Chiller Killer with a launch up the inside of Bolt, but Bolt was good enough to see it coming in with a nice clean switchback. He gets back that position, but Chiller Killer, he really needs to use the advantage of these fresh soft tyres. He's going to have been them on for 2 or 3 laps now, as we'll get the telemetry and lap data and all of that stuff up now. But let's see exactly how many laps he's been on these tyres. There you go, he's been on these tyres 3 laps, and as we've seen, these soft tyres really start to go off by about lap 6 or lap 7, so he really needs to use this to his advantage and get past Bolt here, but it doesn't look so, as we're going to be seeing the overtake here of Ed on the King No Skill, as Ed will now move himself up into P3. Oh, and I believe Chiller Killer is going to launch one, but no, Bolt just once again a little bit too far ahead of Chiller Killer there into the hairpin at the end of the long straight. And I believe that this decision to go on these soft compound tyres has been a mistake for Chiller Killer, as he now finally, I think, with a successful launch, Bolt being forced off the track, but Bolt here with the inside line into the long right-hander. He should be able to get that position sealed for the moment, but he runs wide on the exit of the corner. But this is really costing Chiller Killer here, and looks like his decision to go on the soft compound tyres has been the wrong one. Of course, he did have to change his front wing at the pit stop, but here we go. Could we see Chili Killer finally get up the inside as he nearly hits Bolt and he has to turn out? So, I meant he nearly hits King No Skill. He had to turn out of the corner and he hit Bolt. But now he's also going to look to get past King No Skill here. And he does just about as now. That's going to affect the rest of the run of King No Skill. And also Bolt here through this first sector. But King No Skill making up 2 positions in the first sector there after some, well, argy-bargy, I'd best describe it, between himself and Bolt. But now, perhaps, what I was calling a mistake could be working out, as he still has what should be about 3 or 4 more laps of an advantage being on these compounded tyres. And let's just see how fast Chili Killer is. Of course, he was on pole and he did set the fastest lap of the race so far. So let's see if he can close this advantage in on Ed. But Bolt, he's looking really strong in this race, and if he stays in this DRS window, it's really going to be hard for him to scrub off, as we have got Ayrton Spencer now getting up past King No Skill. I'm also going to see Testameister try to get past here, but unable to do so. But surely he's going to dive up the inside. No, King No Skill sees it coming and manages to hold on to P7 for a little bit longer. But we'll go up to the front of the grid here, and Chazza has a 7.5 second lead here over Addy in this Grand Prix. Of course, Addy didn't have exactly the most comfortable start, but it seems as if this decision to start on the medium compounded tyres and to go long into this race is really paying off for Chazza and Addy, as they're not getting involved in all this squabbling, as it looks like Bolt has gone for a monumental lunge here at turn 1, but it just hasn't quite paid off from his. He was momentarily up to P4 past Chili Killer, but not quite. But all this squabbling that's going on behind is really going to help here, Addy. As of course he was down in about P6 before the first round pit stop. So it's going to be interesting to see if Addy can manage to get a strong result. And of course, being the championship leader, he needs a strong result here in this Grand Prix. But Bolt and Chili Killer is still pretty close behind, as Bolt, he has the DRS and he's going to come towards Chili Killer. Chili Killer defending the inside line. Bolt going to have to go the long way around here on lap 14 out of 28. And can he get that done? Yes, he can. But Chili Killer is still going to fight for that position. He's going to look for a switchback, which he's done so many times so far in this Grand Prix. But Bolt with a little bit of a shove there, and making sure that Chili Killer can't get this position. Chili Killer trying to go switchback on Bolt, but unable to this time. And it looks like Bolt, at this stage of the race, is the faster driver. And it looks like it's going to be more disappointment for Chili Killer. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to convert that pole into a win. But still, as we've just only gone over halfway distance, a lot can happen in this race, as he can still get past Bolt here, as he's got DRS down into turn 1. Bolt's putting the good old squeeze on him, as it's very hard to see the apex of turn 1 here. He did a very good job there to Chili Killer to make sure that he hit his braking zone and hit the apex of the corner. But Bolt, with the wider line around the outside, able to get the move done, and still up in P4 at the moment, as these two battling are really costing them time here. As now Bolt's nearly almost 5 seconds behind Ed here, and it's really looking good here for the top 3 at the moment to secure these podium positions, as Ed on the medium compound tyres is 11 seconds behind Addy, who of course is yet to pit, along with Chazza, who are on the medium compounded tyres. Of course, Ed has made his pit stop off the soft compound tyres onto the mediums, and we'll probably look to go to the end on these medium tyres, as it looks like we're going to be seeing mostly a one stop by the majority of the grid here today, or at least the top runners. As Addy really preserving his tyres here, as you can see out the exit of the corner, using absolutely no ERS to avoid any wheel spin. I should say Ed, actually, not Addy. I'm sure Addy is doing the same thing, as Scheckter has got a 5-second time penalty for corner cutting. As we'll try and have a look at the rest of the field in a moment. as there has been so much happening between the leaders up the top here. As it looks like Chiller Killer's tyres are finally starting to go to fade, and Bolt's starting to become a little bit more superior, as he's now starting not to challenge Bolt as much. But who knows, it can all still change. He could still get a move done here up at the main straight on lap 16. As this race has gone really oh so quickly, but it doesn't look like it's going to be a good one for Chiller Killer. I'm sure that he'd still be happy with where he is, as he really has improved rapidly in the second half this season, but not where he wants to be. Every driver wants to be on that top step of the podium, and it doesn't look like it will be Chiller Killer's once again today. But here we go. He activates the DRS with very little ERS, that must be pointed out here. Let's just see how much ERS he has compared to Bolt. Well, not too much more actually, whereas you can see the other drivers really do have a lot of ERS left. Chazza perhaps not so much, as it looks like he might be coming into the pits. Yes, he is indeed. Chazza coming into the pits here on lap 16. And what tyres is Chazza going to go on? Surely he can't make the soft compound tyre last that long, but he is. It looks like Chazza's going to go on to the soft compound tyres here. But we also have Addy pitting from second place. And what tyres is he going to come on? Is he also going to go on to the soft compound tyres? And yes, he is indeed. So Chaz and Addy are going to have to go very long here on these soft compounded tyres. And let's just see if they can make those last, as Chaz has rejoined second, only seconds behind Ed there in second place. But Chiller Killer, he really is starting to fade away from Bolt here, struggling to stay within the second now as they head through the first sector. But Addy, after pitting from second place in this race, has dropped back into sixth behind Ayrton Spencer, Chiller Killer and Bolt. So, oh, and here we go. We got Chazza making the move on the race leader already, up the inside of the hairpin before the main straight, and Chazza has now got the DRS, and he's got, well, he barely got more ERS. He might actually struggle here at the end of the straight, but no, Ed's decided to turn it down, saying, Chazza, you are the better man today. You can go on and win this Grand Prix. And Chazza now just has to make no mistakes in the last stint of this race, and he has really made no mistakes today, has Chazza. And what a day to make no mistakes. It could be absolutely massive, this performance by Chazza in the championship standings. Or as it looks like Addy might have been hit from behind there by Ayrton Spencer. Not too sure though. It just looked like he had a tap from the rear end there, unless it was just that he had that much oversteer out the corners. Chiller Killer really struggling on those tyres, and yet he's going to come to the pits now, and he's going to go probably onto another set of soft tyres in this race. Oh no, he actually can't. He's going to have to go on the medium compound tyres, so he's going to be slower than the rest, and he's going to have to put in a terrific final stint to get himself up ahead of 7th place, as Testameister is now up into 5th place, up past Ayrton Spencer. Testameister really coming on strong in the last couple of races as well, as Chaz has actually just picked up a 3-second time penalty there. So, but look at that, he's already pulled out a 2-second gap there. But Testameister really starting to come on strong here in the last couple of races. We've seen last time out in Mexico, and perhaps in other couple of races in the second half of this season, that he's starting to put some stronger performances in, and it's good to see. Testameister is a good driver, and he can win races in this league, and perhaps challenge for podiums, I think is a more appropriate statement, as Chiller Killer, after what has been a bad call in the strategy on his part, quite honestly. He's all the way down in 8th place now, and he's looking to overtake Murcielago here, and I think 7th place, unless something happens to one of the front runners, is going to be the best he gets in this Grand Prix. Is now Addy, who's on these soft compounded tyres, starting to close up on Bolt here for 3rd place, as we've got some lapped cars ahead, as we've got Schechter, as Bolt's actually just picked up a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting, as Schechter in the Haas manages to get out the way very successfully there at the final corner. But Addy, he's going to have, but Bolt's actually gained from gained from that lap car there is he had DRS down the main straight, and I'm sure that was actually quite a big and important factor on him maintaining P3 at the moment. But Addy's trying to go around the outside with the extra grip on those tyres. The traction was just too good. He's gotten up past Bolt, up into P3, and now his main attention, his main focus will be closing that gap on his championship rival, the man that at the moment would be, I think, only 2 points behind him in the championship if things were to stay as they are. Addy now is going to set his sights on Ed here as we're on lap 19 out of 28, and I don't think there's much Bolt can do in this race. It seems as if this going on the medium tyres at the start was the right decision, as we can see Chazza with a 4-second gap at the lead of this race, really putting a fantastic performance is Chazza, and now he's saving up his aero, saving up his fuel, and making sure that he can run comfortably to the end. But also Ed does have to be wary here that he's going to have a very fast approaching Haas, and this is really set up for the battle between Addy and Ed. Addy's tyres are going to be wearing out quicker than Ed, but Ed's also been on these tyres quite a while now, I believe about 10 laps or so, so it's going to be difficult here as Addy sets a fast lap the Grand Prix, which also could be massive, a 1:34.8 I believe. Of course, for setting the fast lap, if you finish inside the top 10, you get an extra point, and that and every single point at this stage in the championship matters. And Addy really hammering home his tyre advantage here at the moment, as this gap is starting to come down very rapidly, as the gap is now 3.3 seconds, and he could indeed see Ed there just before as he came through the first sector. But to his credit, Bolt is sticking onto the back here of Addy, and if he can just stick within this DRS, he could perhaps also then come up with Addy onto the back of Ed here. So Bolt is going to be really trying his absolute all here, as he did indeed just about sneak the DRS. So Bolt there, he's just sticking here with Addy, and that's what a veteran racer does, is realise that if he could just stay within the DRS for just a little bit longer, that he could come along with Addy up to the back of Ed, and Addy with that gap now to 2.6, but Bolt has now fallen out of the DRS, and that mistake there at the very sharp left hand is going to drop him back even further. And yes, the gap is now about 1.7 seconds between Bolt and Addy, and Bolt, not too sure if he's got some damage, but he's really struggling here. He's gone wide at that corner several times, perhaps just trying to carry a bit too much speed, but I think Bolt needs to manage his DRS a little bit better, because he's all the way down at 2 or 3% here. So perhaps something that he needs to start focusing on. As now we'll go back to Addy. We'll turn our attentions here to the battle for second place, the battle for the championship. As now Chaz has picked up another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. He'll just be wanting to be careful at this stage. I know that Ed does have at least one penalty, so at this stage in the race it will be all okay for Ed, for Chazza to win this race, but he just has to be careful here, because Addy is also flying. I know Addy's also got some penalties, but Chazza just needs to be a bit careful here. As now Addy within 2 seconds of Ed, and he will be picking up a very minor slipstream. As let's see how much ERS these two drivers have, and both drivers have about the same amount of ERS, so both of them really not saving their ERS too much. And I believe Addy, he really should start to save his ERS here, as if he can save his ERS as he comes up behind Ed here, Ed's going to have to use a lot more of his ERS to defend, and if Addy can just close in, use his tyre advantage here through the corners, and then use all of his ERS down the main straight, he can really comfortably get past the Mercedes drivers. We've got some movement in the pit lane as we've got Skell coming into the pits on lap 22 out of 28. As we're nearing the final stages of this Grand Prix, we've also got Testameister coming into the pit lane, so one can assume that he's going to be coming in for the soft compounded tyres. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The gap is now under a second between these two, the two that are going for the championship. Addy has had a bit of a difficult race today. He was all the way back in 12th at one stage in this race, but here through the first sector he's gained nearly half a second on the Mercedes driver, and he has a good amount of ERS now saved up in this race as Addy through the hairpin now is going to get a good launch onto the main straight, and already in a high ERS mode with the DRS activated. Can Addy get past the Mercedes driver here on this lap? He's gaining at a rapid rate here, but I don't think he'll be close enough. Ed parks his car in the middle of the track, but just not enough at the moment for the Haas driver to get past the Mercedes. And let's see what will transpire in these coming laps. If Ed can just hold off Addy for a couple of laps, it can make it difficult for Addy, as his tyres will start to feel it towards the end of this race. So Ed, if he can just hold off Addy here, it would be very, very vital, as we're now out of the final corner with the DRS activated for Addy, coming down the pitch straight. No move will be made into turn one, as Ed was just a little bit too far ahead here into turn one, as we'll now go on to an offboard shot of these two drivers coming through the first sector. You can just see how much more grip the Haas driver has compared to the Mercedes driver. He might even try a move here through the first sector, but no, he's in a battle for the championship, in a battle which is this important. He's gonna hold on, and he's gonna wait to make his move here. And here we go, he's using his overtake mode just before the braking zone to try and close up to the Mercedes driver, but the Mercedes driver's also got a lapped car in front of him, and that might give him ERS. He's actually got his teammate here. He's using the slipstream of his teammate here to help him, and the slipstream of his teammate there has saved him for another lap. And this is what I was talking about. If Ed can just stay ahead for a couple more laps, then Addy's tyres are going to start to feel it. And wow, that was convenient timing that Maverick, Ed's teammate in the Mercedes, was just perfectly there at the right time to give Ed the slipstream which was required for him to really save himself from being overtaken by Addy now, as we're about to head on to lap 24 for these two drivers. Addy is going to have to start to get a move on here, as they're coming down the pitch straight here. Addy using a lot more ERS as they head down into turn one. Could he try to make the move around the outside, as we're going to go on board with this front wing camera shot here? But Addy still not able to do enough, as he's got a lot more speed here, as they're going to go side by side. He's got the inside line. There was a little bit of contact, and Addy's gone off towards the wall. Has he managed to keep it out the wall? Yes, he has, but now that's going to set him back quite a bit here. Addy perhaps just a little bit too aggressive. Contact between the two championship rivals. And now Testameister's actually got that fastest lap point, so Addy won't be able to gain anything from that, at least. But now he's going to have to get back within the 1 second, and I don't believe he'll have DRS. No, he won't. So things just not working out quite fine for Ed, and what he really needs to do here is he just needs to compose himself, really focus on trying to get ahead at turn one, because of him on those softer compounded tyres, on those fresher tyres, he should be able to extend his advantage through the first sector, and perhaps instead of waiting for the main straight, but he also has to get his tyres back under control after, well, going off circuit. His tyres will be dirty. They should be fine by now, but it still would have had an effect on his tyres. As he's back within a second now of the Mercedes driver, he's pushing all over the track. He actually extended there quite a bit and gained quite a lot of time, as he now really is close here as they come onto the pit straight. Perhaps actually he's not that close. It did look a little bit over exaggerated from the front wing shot, but Ed, you can see very early on the brakes there into turn one. But Addy, he really needs to get this move done. He's saved up a lot of ERS, but Addy So Ed also really isn't in a lot of ERS trouble here, as Ed actually lost the rear end, I believe, there through the first sector. He really could be starting to feel the effect of tyre wear now on those medium tyres. I think he's been on them about 15 laps or so. But Addy also really struggling there, and wow, that's a crucial mistake and a crucial part of the track just before the main straight. He will still get DRS, but he's going to be a long way back now as they head out of the hairpin. But Ed with a little bit of a mistake there, losing the rear end, and now up into overtake mode with the DRS. He's gaining massively on the Ed here, and it could be the time for the harsh driver of Addy to get past Bolt. He's going to have to go around the outside here. They're side by side. Forced off the track is Addy by Ed, and he's got a 3-second time penalty, and that could be crucial to see who comes out on top here between these two drivers. Now Addy is going to launch it up the inside. There's side-to-side contact with the wheels. Ed's forced off the track, but he still, I believe, is ahead. But he's going to have to try and go around the outside, is Addy, but he's not going to be able to quite get that done. And for another lap, Ed manages to stay ahead. He's making himself oh so difficult to overtake in this race, and it's really, really costing Addy here. Him being forced off the track there could have cost him his second place in this race. As now they head down towards turn 1. Addy's going to have to go the long way around, but he's outbroken himself massively, and Ed survives again. Addy just cannot get past Ed at the moment, and he was in overtake mode. He was gaining rather rapidly here, down in towards the first sector. But now, let's take a very crucial part of the track. If Addy can get a good run out of this part here, he can perhaps try and get a move done, and he's closer than what he was previously as he uses his overtake mode just before the braking zone here of this hairpin. And now we go once again. This is certainly Addy's certainly closer than what he was on the lap before to Ed, but doesn't look like he's gaining as much, but he certainly is gaining now. And this slipstream with the DRS, he's going to have to go around the outside again, but Ed surely will force him wide again. But Addy, certainly not going to be able to get the move done here, but he's looking for a different attack, trying to go up the inside here of this right-hander, but not quite able to do it. He just cannot get past the Mercedes driver at the moment, and perhaps trying to go for a wild move around the outside there. He can't, but look who's here all of a sudden. It's Bolt. I know that Bolt has an absolute bucket load of penalties though, so he will not be a factor in this battle for second and third here, but this is a crucial battle, and what now after this race, there will be 2 races remaining. All these points could be crucial, and at the moment, Addy will lose 3 points to Ed, and the championship gap will be 2 points. As Addy now looking just for a much more cleaner lap. He needs to put together a clean first sector. So come through the first sector, all over the curbs is Addy. Not exactly that clean. Ed still doing a fantastic job here, but it looks like perhaps Addy's tyres are starting to go away here. He's really starting to struggle through the first sector, and look at that, Ed for the first time pulling away from Addy, as now he also has to worry about Bolt behind him, who's trying to go around the outside here before the main straight. Addy gonna say he's gonna force him off the track there and onto the curbs, and that will affect the exit. But Addy, he doesn't have DRS. He's lost the DRS on Ed. Addy's tyres have really started to go, being behind Ed for that many laps, battling so hard and pushing to the absolute maximum has really cost him here. His tyres, I believe, are starting to go, but all of a sudden he's back within a second of the Mercedes driver. And we're on the penultimate lap, so all is not lost here for Addy. He still can get this job done, but now he has to also worry about Bolt in this battle here. As now Chaza is on the final lap of the United States Grand Prix here in Austin, Texas. And it's ever so crucial for these 3, especially for Addy and Ed, but Ed is certainly enjoying the most comfortable gap he's had in quite a while, as the gap between the Mercedes. Oh, and Ragnar has retired from this Grand Prix in 11th place. I thought he was in 10th for a moment there, but Ragnar retiring from 11th place, but Addy, he really needs a good first sector here, and this is the best first sector we've seen, but it's just been through these couple of corners here that Addy really has struggled with a little bit of oversteer, if we could call it. And it looks like he was struggling once again, very sideways through most of those corners, and Ed's just seemingly much stronger through that part of the track. Is now Bolt all over the back of the harsh driver once again, and I don't believe that Addy will have DRS. No, he won't. He will not have DRS on Ed, so it's going to take a colossal mistake from Ed here to lose P2 in this race, at least on track. But Bolt, with barely any ERS available, not going to be able to get past. But it's Bolt with an absolute launch up the inside, which was very unexpected here on Addy, and he's going to launch it up the inside again. But he's just not going to be able to get past, as we're going to have to just stay on board here, as Bolt's gotten back up ahead. But now Chazza wins the United States Grand Prix. Amazing performance by the Ferrari driver here today. He dominated that race ever since he got ahead into the lead. But it looks like just at the final line, it's going to be Bolt who snatched that position from Addy. But on penalties, Bolt will finish 4th. Addy will finish third. And Ed will finish in 2nd place, with Schilliker in the end finishing P5 from pole. Ayrton Spencer will finish in 7th place, with Testameister in 6th. And here we got King No Skill in 8th, with Val about 2 seconds behind him. Here we go. King No Skill will surely finish in 8th place unless penalties. Nope, he will finish in 9th place as Val takes P8 from King No Skill. And now we have the Red Bull of Murcielago, who was up in P3 at one stage in this race. But there we go. What an incredible United States Grand Prix that was. A constant battling between the top 5, top 4. Incredible stuff between Ed, Chazza, Bolt, and Addy. And also Chillikiller, of course, who was there. But it's Chazza. It's been a while since we've seen a Ferrari in this league win a race, and it was normality last season, but Chazza wins in Austin for the first time, I believe. I don't know if Chazza's won another race apart from the first race of the season, but that was incredible. But here we go, quite a lot of penalties for the whole entire grid here, except for Maverick, but unfortunately not quite good enough for Maverick, as he finished all the way down to 12th. But we'll run through the finishing order once more. Chazza, with a fantastic medium to soft strategy, finishes in 1st place there, with Ed finishing in 2nd. Addy in 3rd place, but most crucially, Ed gains 3 points on Addy in the championship battle. Bolt will finish in 4th. Chillikill in 5th, of course, from pole. Testameister in 6th. Ayrton Spencer in 7th. Val in 8th. King Skill in 9th. Murcielago in 10th. Hereford in 11th. 12th with Maverick. Skull in 13th. Ragno 14th. Danny Bin Lahar in 15th. And I believe it was Schechter, last of all, who was disqualified in 16th place. But wow, what an incredible United States Grand Prix that was. And of course, next time out, we will be going to Interlagos. We'll be going to the Brazilian Grand Prix. And I would like again once to apologise for the technical issues that we had there during qualifying. I don't know why my proper mic wasn't exactly working. I'll have to try and fix that before the next race. But until then, of course 9 PM Central European time next Sunday, has been me, Niblo, and wow, what an incredible race. And yeah, we'll see you then. Bye bye.